Good morning, this is Peter Boulton leaning in. I say leaning in because the series that I run on YouTube is called Lean In, which stands for L-E-A-N, lean, learn, earn, action and now. And to me it's about taking different elements of that and trying to apply them into my business life as an entrepreneur, not just to help me be successful, but to help other people be successful too. And part of that, I think, is just kind of having a responsibility to share some of the stuff that I learn. And I learn some of the times when I'm driving, because I'll go onto YouTube and I'll be listening to something whilst I'm in the car from perhaps a speaker who has experience and knowledge in the business area or a mindset area or different areas that might be helpful to me and to the people that I'm working with and that I interact with. And today I was listening to a bit from Joe Dispenza. You may know the name. And really one of the things that he was kind of exploring today is he gave the example, and I'm not going to be able to do it justice, I'm sure, but he gave an example really that we all kind of know, or perhaps we accept, that if we really think about ourselves being unwell and we're negative and our mindset is in a bad place, we could drive ourselves into physical illness, and whether that's mental illness or even physically not feeling well, because our mind is kind of controlling what our body is actually resulting in. And he flips it the other way and he says, well, if we can be negative with our mindset and we can think, unhealthy, and we can turn ourselves into not being well, perhaps we can reverse it and go from a positive standpoint as well. And what he really means by that is that we have a choice to try and think about the things that we want to think about. And if we think about positive messages and about how well we can be, isn't that a great place to start from? That we're more likely to be well in ourselves, both mentally and physically, if we think positive thoughts of being well and reoperating in that space. And it kind of took it a step further for me in a message that he was trying to put across, which is quite interesting, isn't it? That I think that if we've experienced things in the past, and those things are obviously very real to us because we've experienced them, we're more likely to do more of those things and be in that mindset of our experiences as we move further forward. But what Joe Dispenza is really saying is think forward, think about what your future wants to be, whether that's short-term, medium-term or long-term, and almost starting to really get a clear picture, a clear vision in our brains of what that future might look like for us. And if we can do that and we can make that as real as possible, we're more likely to drag ourselves forward into achieving those things that we imagine. But obviously it's easier to stay in the place that we're at, which is based on the experiences that we've had in the past. So I could just kind of leave that really as an encouraging thought, perhaps something to try out for yourselves in think forward, think about what are we trying to achieve, try and imagine what that situation would be, try and get our minds set in a way that we really understand what our future is that we desire, and try and crystallize that and make it as real as possible. Because if we do that, we're more likely to find ourselves in that place as we move further forward, in exactly the same way, from a negative point of view, that if we think bad, negative thoughts about our health, we can drive our health down and we can become unhealthy perhaps. But in the same way is if we imagine trying to get to a point of having really great health and being in a good place, we're more likely to achieve that, if you like, in the way that we live. Anyway, just a thought I'd share it with you. Have a great day and, try it out perhaps.